name is Dr. David Schiller, and I'd like to welcome you to our diabetes recovery website. And you're watching this video because either you or someone you know has diabetes, or you might have been told that you need to start watching your blood sugar levels, or that you're pre-diabetic, or that you are having insulin resistance or metabolic syndrome. So in a general sense, when you go to your medical doctor, they're checking your blood work and they're looking at your blood sugar levels. And you're considered diabetic if you have blood sugar levels that are above 126 2 times in a row. That's when you're deemed diabetic. But there's a level of blood sugar that's between, say, 100 and 126, where that's a sign of prediabetes. Now, in our office, we look at things a little bit differently in that we use different levels of blood sugar levels. We use what are called functional levels, and we want to keep a person optimally between 85 and 100. And when people start creeping into the high 90s and into the hundreds, we know that they're pre-diabetic and they need to start doing things now, as opposed to waiting till you're 126 2 times in a row and now you have to go on medications. Now, the problems with the medications is that a lot of them stimulate more production of insulin, and over time that can burn out your pancreas, and that's not a good thing. But I'm not here to say to get off your medication. That's not under the purview of my license. You need to work with your medical doctor, and if you choose to go the route of some alternative ways or some more natural ways of dealing with your blood sugar, we can work in concert with your other doctors so that we can help you get better more naturally. So when we take care of people, we recognize, one, that it's not just your pancreas that's the problem. It may not just be that your diet and exercise are not correct, because there are people who are in my office that have been changing their diet and have been exercising, but yet their blood sugar still remains high. And the myth is that that's all they need to do, and the problem with that is that that may not be the answer. For as a matter of fact, some people that have diabetes, their bodies are so stressed that too much exercise is going to be too much for them, and they don't need to be exercising very heavily at all. And if they do, they can make the problem worse because their body's not able to deal with that stress. So when we take care of you and we look at you, we're going to leave no stone unturned in trying to figure out why you have the blood sugar issue in the first place. That's the key. We want to try to find out why. We understand that you've been labeled as such, as a diabetic or pre-diabetic, but that's just it. It's just a label. And we want to find out why your blood sugar is fluctuating in the first place. And there's many reasons. It's not just the pancreas. It could be that the liver is off. You see, your liver stores glycogen. It's one of the storage forms of sugar in your body. And if the liver is not functioning well, and maybe it's not functioning well because of bad diet or you've been on medications for a long time, but the idea is it's not going to regulate your blood sugar very well if it's in trouble, as is your gut. Your gut's very important. It's where all the food is going to be extracted. The nutrients are extracted in your gut. Nutrients are taken into the body in your gut, but if your gut is not functioning well, then things can go off there, because if you're eating the wrong foods, you might be thinking, well, I'm eating healthy foods, but what if those foods are causing problems in your body? In other words, you have food sensitivities. So when we look at someone, we're not only looking at your blood sugar, we're looking at the function of the liver, we may be looking at the function of the gut, we might look at why some food sensitivities like gluten, dairy, soy, eggs, and yeast. These are major 5 categories of foods that can cause problems and cause inflammation in the body, which gets to our next topic, which is that when your body has uncontrolled inflammation, the inflammation causes changes to your adrenal glands and the release of cortisol, which has a direct relationship to your blood sugar levels. So when a person's under lots of stress, not only emotionally but physically, maybe they had surgeries or they have old injuries or they have undetected types of inflammation in the body because it's not being regulated appropriately, then that's going to shift off the cortisol, which shifts off your insulin. And lastly, there could be relationships into your thyroid gland. There's an article right here I just got off the internet. It's from the British Medical Journal. It was published in September of 2010, the month that I'm taping this video. And they found that there is relationships between diabetes and thyroid disorders. So have those things been looked into? And this is just some of the things that we would look into. It's not all of them. And we know that we're going to be looking at everything we need to do to find out why, and then working in concert with your doctors, and hopefully over time, what you minimally could be doing is possibly reducing the amount of medication so that you're not stressing the body as much. Some people in my office have even gotten off the medication. I don't know if that's you, but just know that we will hopefully work with your other doctors and trying to get this happening and getting you better naturally. So I hope you learned something from this, and I hope to see you soon.